On the eve of the anniversary of 9/11, Muslim leaders and community representatives gathered at Judson Memorial Church in Manhattan to state their clear opposition to ISIS and all those who hijack religion to promote extremism and violence. After a moment of prayerful silence for the victims of 9/11, event organizer Adam CARROLL held up a spoof of the ISIS flag, which spells out what Muslims think of the group's leader, or caliph.
We didn't want the Quran to be on here and rip it, but we're going to rip it. It only says al-Baghdadi is the caliph of hell. And we don't believe in ISIS, and we don't believe in this terrible movement. And so, symbolically, let's get rid of ISIS.
I think ISIS are engaging war against the Prophet. It is very important for the Muslims to stand up against it very, very clearly. There is no if, there is no but in against ISIS here. Thank you very much. Islam is about protecting minority. Islam is about partnering with others, about working with others, about cooperating with others.
The news conference was attended and supported by Christian allies. For SAHAR, a Shia Muslim born in Iraq who grew up among many faiths, the advent of ISIS in her home country was particularly painful to witness.
I grew up loving Arab Christians, Arab Jews, Arab Baha'is, and it breaks my heart to think of what the ISIS is doing to the Iraqi and to the Syrian community. Now the fact that actually all these divisions are being created and the harm that's being inflicted on our Iraqi brothers and sisters, to me, hurts me personally. I grew up in a very multi-faith world. When we first came, we came because my mother finished her PhD here in the 70s. There was no mosque in sight. So the very first place, my house of worship, was a Syrian Orthodox Christian church in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Another troubling consequence of ISIS seems to have been the increase in hate crimes recently against Muslims in New York City. Linda Sarsour, who appeared on our program last week, herself was attacked near her Bay Ridge office hours after the interview.
A gentleman chased me down Fifth Avenue and said that he was going to cut my head off. And see how my people feel about it just sends a message that something's brewing here in the U.S., and we need to make sure that as Americans we stand up against bigotry and hatred of any community, regardless of where that hate is coming.
Linda and other speakers took note of how little media attention is given when Muslims denounce terrorism.
Unfortunately, this is not the first time, and it's not going to be the last time that American Muslims condemn terrorism. It hasn't been a story, and I just challenge people to Google Muslims condemn ISIS, Muslims condemn terrorism, and I guarantee you will find dozens, if not hundreds of statements from all over the world of Muslims condemning terrorism.
Today's gathering showed the strength and resilience of the Muslim community in New York and their message of peace, and the faith that one day they will triumph over extremism and Islamophobia. Reporting for Currents in Washington Square, I'm Konrad Aderer.